Christina on the call.
I'm just trying to get Curtis switched over to host, and so I don't see Christina. Hold on. Oh, there's Christina. Yes, in attendees. We're just waiting for quorum.
Did that happen just because I logged in?
Hi, Ruby.
Hello, how's it going, Daniel?
Oh, good. You know, always busy around here at the RHA.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Curtis, you're now the host.
Christine? Daniel, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Tamara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Christina, can you hear me?
Tamara, try speaking and see if I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, yep, y'all coming in now. Thank you.
Can you hear me, Christina?
Yes.
Thank you.
Catherine, do we have enough people to have the meeting yet?
No.
Okay. in a board meeting. Dankeschön.
Huh?
Curtis, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna switch channels here so I can display some things later on in the meeting.
You say you're gonna switch and do what? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna switch channels here. I'm gonna go on my computer, so I might need you to promote me later in the meeting.
Okay. Daniel,
Yeah.
did you see my message that I just sent you in Teams?
Let me look. Looks like it just came through. Oh, yeah, if you're asking about quorum, I mean, I would go through the roll call and then that will tell you.
No, but I'm
But
asking as far as the number that's required. Now, because before it was 6, but now that we're one less member currently, doesn't that change what quorum is?
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From what I can
I
see,
think we got 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean,
And
obviously, wait,
and
1,
Christina is present.
2, yeah,
You
3,
have
4.
6.
Oh, okay, so we do have quorum. Okay, perfect. Okay. Good, good. Well, thank you everyone for attending today. Give me 2 seconds while I get give me 2 seconds here. I'm just trying to get mm, okay. So let's quickly establish quorum. I will call out the names and you say present. That will be very much appreciated. Tamara,
Here.
Sherry, Ruby,
Here.
Christina,
Here.
Marvin, I thought I saw, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought I saw Marvin. Uh, Ben,
I'm here.
okay. Um, Is Shona here? Okay, Mustafa?
Here.
Okay. Well, we have quorum, everyone. Thank you very much. Daniel, would you like to take over?
I will. It's my job as co-chair. Thank you. I want to go ahead and welcome everybody to our systems August System Performance Committee meeting. And we've gone through, we know is here. I at this point also want to ask if anybody has accessibility needs, please let us know. Accessibility is very important for this group. And next, I want to, oh, it might have a click. Do the land dig. It doesn't come up when you click on the land acknowledgement link, by the way, on the agenda. So just so somebody knows that when you click it, it's not there. But I want to, does somebody in our group have, KCRHA have the land acknowledgement?
Yes, I have it here. I'll read it.
Thank you, sir.
The King County Continuum of Care Board acknowledges that we work on the unceded traditional land of the Coast people, especially the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, the original stewards of the land, past and present. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. This acknowledgement only becomes meaningful when combined with accountable relationships and informed action, and is the first step in honoring the land that we today sit on and their people. Theory
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Theory of change. If we create a homelessness response system that centers people who have lived experience of homelessness, then we will be able to meet needs and eliminate inequities in order to end homelessness for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, moving to, I'm going to go ahead and say a board member would like to speak today, and after public comment, we are going to give that board member an opportunity to speak. So next, I'm going to go ahead and move into public comment, and I do not think Marvin is here from what I understand. But do we have any?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, sir, take on public comment.
Well, welcome everybody. If there are folks in our audience that would like to make public comment, now's the time to do so. Please be reminded that we will take questions throughout the meeting and post our response. Is there anyone in the gallery? Anybody with hands raised for public comment, Curtis?
No, Marvin.
Thank you very much. I will pass this now back to Chair Christine.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Next, I will move to allow for Ben, who is one of our board members, would like to speak up at this time. Is Ben here? Because I can't see who's here. I apologize.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, please. I would like you to take the floor right now.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As you all know, my name is Ben Vaagen. I am a program manager and contract monitor for King County DCHS. I oversee youth and family homeless prevention contracts. I was a member of this committee prior to that role, but it made sense for me to stay on here and actually even fold it in to my position. So that is what has happened. I'm speaking today in that capacity to raise concerns about BitFocus's performance as the county's HMIS vendor. My comment specifically addresses two separate incidents that I personally had with BitFocus several months apart in June and August. And together, I think they point to a pattern of concern regarding how BitFocus staff handle sensitive information and security matters in their role as the county's HMIS vendor. The first incident involved a routine contract monitoring inquiry that I made regarding a contracted agency. In the course of handling that inquiry, a BitFocus support person disclosed to the agency itself, the same agency I was exercising my role as contract monitor to look into, that I had made the inquiry along with the identifying case information. That disclosure undermined the basic confidentiality that contract monitoring depends on, and it is not something that could have been undone once it happened. I followed up with KCRHA staff, but the conversation never took place. The second and more recent incident involved a BitFocus deputy program administrator publicly asserting in front of one of our contracted providers that I had sent an unencrypted email with client information and stated that her team would be documenting it as a breach. I have meaningfully refuted that claim. In other words, I demonstrated with, I demonstrated that the message was actually sent using the county's sanctioned encryption protocol. And despite that documentation, the characterization has not been corrected or walked back. I recognize this committee's charter is, it's narrow. And I'm not asking the committee to resolve either of these specific incidents today necessarily, although I'm thankful that I was given a chance to speak to you and maybe hear what you all have to say. What I am asking is that the committee take note of this pattern and consider whether it warrants a referral to whoever holds in oversight over BitFocus's contract performance. Data handled through HMIS touches every provider and every family in the system, and I don't think a pattern like this should go unrecorded simply because it doesn't fit neatly into one committee's scope. I am happy to provide additional context, written detail, and also the proof that I provided to BitFocus that I had in fact followed the security protocols. I haven't heard back from them or KCRHA on either of the exchanges, so they are both kind of seeming unresolved. So thanks everybody for listening, and I'm hopeful that somebody here would be able to, at the very least, direct me with who I should be talking to about this. But since so much of what we do is tied to HMIS and the administration of HMIS, I thought this was a good place to bring it up. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it is within the scope of this committee to hear when privacy matters exist and when there's something that needs to be handled, definitely. Ben, do you have a suggestion on how we could work on it or what we could possibly do or how we can help in this matter?
Well, in the first instance, I was asking for kind of like a timestamp record of when a client had been de-identified. And I was doing that because I needed to corroborate the timeline that had been given to me by the provider. I was concerned that it wasn't lining up. And rather than directing me to the person that could provide me with that information, they sent an email to the agency's executive director and indicated that I was looking for that information and that she should circle back and talk to me about it. So it wasn't helpful at all. In fact, I was in the midst of trying to establish compliance with our contract and the way that we do things. And instead I was just kind of ratted out for doing so, which I genuinely did not appreciate, still do not appreciate. In fact, after they did that, I said, you know what, never mind. This is unfixable at this point. So I'm gonna withdraw my my request. But I think that BitFocus needs to know, like, I guess my hope is that we can, well, first of all, document both of these instances so that if and when they come up again, or something like these comes up again, we can recognize a pattern for what it is. And then I want to talk to BitFocus about process improvement, because both of these things were avoidable. Both of these things just were kind of handled poorly. And I don't think it was either person's intention, but both of them have had an effect on my ability and my efficacy as a contract monitor. And all I'm trying to do is ensure that our providers are in the best space to, prevent families from ever having to access the HMIS system. So in so doing, they're preventing me from doing my job, which is preventing families from having to access the HMIS system. So, yeah. I know that's not very specific, but none of this is okay. KCRHA didn't act. KCRHA, and look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or, like, make any enemies here. I understand that KCRHA has been undergoing a lot of changes in the last few months, and I am incredibly sympathetic to that situation. And I am not satisfied with the way that any of this is happening. The responses, I'm concerned that if they're not responding to me, and I'm an SPC member, what other parties are not being responded to? What other concerns are not being addressed? And all of this is, I don't know. I guess the reason that I wanted to bring it here today was because I want help figuring out what to do. But I'm not going to let this go.
Thank you very much. And definitely, I want to work on getting you a response, definitely, and by next month, and to hear, it's important, because I see you as a county vendor at the county, and having concerns like that just really makes it worries me, and as someone who really values that privacy, I definitely will bring it back to and ask for KCRHA to come back with a response on this, because we can't you deserve to be responded to. You deserve to appeal stuff when something is inaccurate and have that worked on. And you definitely deserve, whether it be BitFocus or whoever, when you have a concern like that and you say, no, you deserve a response. And I agree, there's a lot of stuff going on, but a response isn't too hard to say, hey, okay, or let us look at this, or we're taking the time. And the fact that you've gotten none really bothers me, that there's been no response back. So does anybody else in the group have something they would like to share? Or like talk about with this or discuss on this? I want to open the floor, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I raised my hand, but you probably didn't notice it. Sorry.
No.
This is Ruby, and I just wanted to say thanks to Ben for bringing this up, and that it's a really important situation. And if there's anything I can help with supporting you, to please let me know, because this is concerning. If that's the experience that you had in 2 separate occasions. So we want to make sure that our system is definitely secure and private, and that no one's being accused of anything or anything like that. Sounds like an interesting situation. So please keep us updated on that. And thank you for bringing it up today.
Sure. Thank you.
And Ben, I would also like to acknowledge, Ben, would you like to say you're resigning? Would you like to?
Okay. This is an awkward time to bring that up, but I have been on this committee for multiple years now, and I'm just tired. And also, I'm starting my dissertation in January. So today I submitted my intent to resign after the December meeting. I want to make sure that the committee is in the best shape possible and that there's time to recruit replacements, etc. I'm 100% invested in the work that is being done here and the work that needs to be done and doing it right and finding the right way to do it. Yeah, it's just time for me to write my dissertation.
Nope, that's perfectly understandable. There are many very life cycles and things where we work on other stuff and we close the door in there. But I also want to say thank you for all your hard work and thank you for sticking through everything we've all been through as a group and a lot of challenges we've been, and just I'm grateful for everything you've done for us. So thank you for that. So
For sure.
anybody go ahead.
Tamara has her hand up. Just say FYI.
Thank you. Thank you. I also want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you have done. And I know how much you have brought to the table and how much you've brought to the culture of the SPC and why we're doing what we're doing and why we have to keep pushing for systems change and why we have to keep being the squeaky wheel. And I love the fact that you're doing your dissertation. That's awesome. And I also I'm not the person who usually tries to be a voice of reason or anything. And I don't actually feel like a voice of reason. But there's just so much conflict in the world right now. And it hurts my heart to see that there's still conflict. So what I'd love for us to do, maybe this is at a board level even, is just having a restorative justice healing circle. Talanoa. I mean, I'm going to bring that up again, but regarding the issue that you brought up, Ben, I think you're absolutely right. Accountability needs to be transparent. We need to know exactly how it's being carried out, who's impacted by some of these decisions, and where are the ripple effects. Because if we can identify where those are, we can mitigate the impact before things get worse, before a crisis, So anyways, I'm probably going off into tangents, but and also thank you for your consideration for waiting until the end of the year, which is I'm grateful for. Thank you. Even though I'm technically not a co-chair, but I do really appreciate just genuinely and authentically your brilliance.
Thank you. Sorry, one last thing I wanted to say. I want to clarify my intent and my tone here. So if anybody has heard frustration in my tone or heard, or even in the words that I've chosen to use, I am frustrated with the situation. However, I am not here to point fingers. I'm not here to, to fight with anybody. What I want to do is just figure out what happened so that we can make it so it doesn't happen again. My doctorate is in change management. So that includes process improvement. And, the first step for that is really recognizing when a problem is arising. Ideally before it ever happens, but that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? So what I have seen is an issue. I'm not here trying to get BitFocus in trouble. I'm not here to get anybody in trouble. That's not my goal. I'm still going to be at the county after I am no longer on this board. And I'm going to need everybody on this call. I'm not looking for enemies. What I'm looking for is a way to ensure that, we can avoid snafus like this in the future. I know none of this was done intentionally in both cases. And also in both cases, it didn't go great. So, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. So I feel like when I was making my statement that it was possible that I was sounding angry or something like that. And that, while I have been angry about both of these instances here at my house, that's not where I am. I have spent the time to move past that. And I just really want to find a way to use the very privileged and situation I'm very grateful to be in to hopefully impact positive and lasting change. So that I just thank you for allowing me to clarify.
Oh, and I love what you said, and I was actually speaking honestly more to the larger body. Yeah, and also like because I'm thinking so much recently about my own experience, like I've seen, you know, tension all across the system, include with me being involved in it too. And so I know like when some conflict arises that is disruptive to the group dynamic or is disruptive to someone's individual like existence, if there's not healing or if there's not some kind of like preventative protective factor that's already in place to prevent harm, then that's our job to get that established, because I want to put that into a charter. I want to put that into every single document that we have, is that level of accountability. And given what we know, what's happening in the media, you know, I'm perfectly prepared to lead others to like reclaim oversight of KCRHA because somebody's got to, and that's it. That's all I have to say. And thank you again, Ben, for everything.
Yes, thank you again very much. And I agree, you know, it's how do you that's coming together, and we've had a lot of challenges, and it's been tough and it's been frustrating for all of us. And I'm very grateful for everybody's participation and everybody being here, the work everybody's doing. So next, if there's nobody else's hand up that I don't see, because I don't see hand ups, I'm going to go ahead and move to co-chair update with, and we'll start with Ruby.
Really quick. Can we approve July meeting minutes really quick? I should have said that earlier. My apologies.
Hi, this is Ruby, and I would like to move that we approve the last July meeting minutes.
Thank you, Ruby.
Martin second.
Okay. I will go through the list. Tamara,
Yes.
Ruby,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Christina,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Mustafa,
Yes.
and Shauna.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Yes, it wasn't on the agenda, so I apologize. Go ahead, Ruby, take it off.
Oh, thank you, Christina. I do have a quick, few quick updates here, mostly that the NOFO, or the Notice of Funding Opportunity, has been paused. And so that means the application has been paused as it goes through the court system again. We shall see how they decide to go forward from there. But I don't have any other updates on, what that means for, any applications other than they are paused. That's an unfortunate thing for people that are applying for the new projects, but we shall see how that unfolds. I can't provide many more updates on that, but we also did go over the facts that last month at the convening, we were unable to pass the charter, and that had a little bit to do with some of the wording that was surrounding the System Performance Committee. And I just wanted to, be transparent with the System Performance Committee that, the portion in the charter that spoke to the co-chairs being both board members, and that changed to be accepting of a member to be a co-chair of the System Performance Committee wasn't put into that new draft. And so there was just a little bit of confusion. We wanted to make sure that that was in there, as that was something we had committed to the SPC. And then final update is just that this is I'll probably still be giving my updates, or maybe somebody else will take over the updates as well. But there will be a co-chair election at the next board meeting. So we'll find out who's going to be the leadership for the CoC board for the coming year or two. And I'm really excited to see who is going to be, able to step into that role and really, hopefully tie off loose ends and make things happen that, we hadn't accomplished, as there's always work to do, correct? So just wanted to put that out there, that there will be new co-chairs, and I'm happy to bring the updates to the SPC further on what goes on at the CoC board if they would like it that way.
Thank you, Ruby. Is there any updates on any of the other committees? Do you have any updates? The chart, yeah, in the charter work group, we have no updates. It's on where we're going to go with needing those revisions. There. And as far as the coordinated entry committee, I do not think we have any updates about that either, do we?
Catherine, do you have any updates on the coordinated entry portion?
I was not prepared to give an update on the coordinated entry. The last meeting was canceled due to not meeting quorum. And the next coordinated entry committee meeting is next Thursday. And the public is welcome to join.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, that's our informational updates. And next we'll move to we're going to go to move to, and it's not on the web, all that stuff's not on the website. So Daniel or Catherine, will you take over the resume consideration of the SPC? There was a motion in a motion in July to approve candidates, and that were present, approve candidates that happened to be present. And so the group decided the people that were present should be moved forward, even though those who had said they had an emergency, I felt like they weren't considered correctly, but that was my feedback about the whole SPC applicant discussion. But I don't have anything on the website about that. So Catherine, do you have any thing on the applicants?
Christine, I believe Daniel would be the person to respond to that.
I would be, yeah, thank you for that. I'm confused as well, Christina. The agenda is pretty clear on what the next step is there. There was a motion, and I think the committee is obligated to follow up on that motion as old business comes in, as current business for today's meeting. What exactly can I help you with?
Well, and I'm upset with that. I don't agree with it. I did not understand that people who had emergencies or plans who couldn't be there were not going to be considered. People can't always come, and people let an individual let us know they could not come, and they were not considered for this committee, and that greatly upsets me on how it was done myself. Ruby, would you like?
Order?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Shauna.
We had a motion and it was second, and we had a very lengthy discussion about it. So I feel like discussing it again is relitigating it. And we were voting on it when we lost quorum, and it was 4 o'clock. So I personally am really frustrated. I feel like we're starting over the conversation again when we had already finished it.
Okay, go ahead. So finish it, you guys.
I did raise my hand. I just wanted to apologize to the group and say that I was truly, I am sorry that we lost quorum. That was totally my fault there, and I just wanted to apologize for dragging this on. I'm happy to move forward with the decision if everyone else is.
This is Daniel. I just want to clarify a couple points to make sure I'm understanding right. But the meeting notes that I have is that the motion actually passed, but there wasn't quorum for the voting section of it. So the vote still stands, but we were unable to do the vote. But correct me if that is different, but that's what I have as
that's correct. We passed the way we were going to move forward, but then we couldn't move forward. And Christina, just for clarification, it wasn't electing the slate and discontinuing everybody, but it was voting on the people present, yes or no. And then if there's more spaces available, we'll consider other people. But some people had been there for 2 meetings.
Yeah.
And they're
See, and
probably still here right now, I think, probably.
Okay, so next step is? Shauna, what would be the next step?
Well, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I'm guessing that we vote on the 3
Yeah.
folks that presented and spoke at last month's meeting.
This is Ruby, and I think, yeah, that is the correct thing that we do is call the question for the vote. If we could just remember, if we can refresh everyone's memory on the motion, that would be helpful. But if we don't have access to that, then we might need to make a new motion or something. I don't know.
I don't think it's a motion. It's going through each of the 3 candidates that presented to the committee last time and voting yay or nay. Correct? Is that correct, Daniel?
Yes, that's correct. There were 3 nominations there that you were going to vote for, and those were the ones that did come and present. And Rebecca Giles was one that had presented, I think, 2 meetings ago.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the motion as I
And
have it.
the other 2 names are just refreshing memories, please. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's not in the agenda. It's not in all our stuff here. Sorry.
And Mustafa's asking for clarification as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Mustafa.
Yeah, I just want to refresh my mind because this is a lot of information, so I didn't know that's what's happened. So
Are you asking a clarifying question, sir?
but like what's happened last time, just because I don't know what is the conflict now. I'm just confused now. I need to understand it.
For myself, I felt that there was an individual who had an emergency and could not be at the meeting. And I think I felt, and I typed, I guess there was a problem with me typing it out because I got knocked off and then I didn't get brought back in again. And so I had a hard time with that because I was knocked off, kicked out of the meeting or however. But for me, I felt that we did look at the person who was here 2 meetings ago, definitely, but there was an individual who had put in an application but had an emergency and could not be at the last meeting. And I didn't get a chance or opportunity because I had been knocked off to say that I felt like that person should also have been considered for membership because they let us know they had an emergency and they couldn't be there. So I, unfortunately, Shauna, could not participate in the discussion because at that point I kept getting knocked off. So for me, that was a challenge with the IT technology stuff. But yes, correct. There is 3 individuals that were, I guess, I don't have any notes. There's no notes posted on the website about it. So that I could see really, let's see at the last month's minutes.
I can read out the names for everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, that was Ellen Waters, Rebecca Gilly, and Lahia Gee Holly.
Yeah. So, and Becky we did discuss Becky in June. Becky had brought her application, so June. So I guess we start going through the names and go ahead and vote individually, or we could go as a slate. We could do either or.
No, we
Thank you
we
for
already
clarification.
we already decided we're not doing it as a slate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not in the notes here, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then
go ahead.
Daniel, I have a question. Which of the 3 was the one that lived in California? Or
Like-
has a
Miss Holley.
which was
Yeah,
it?
Miss Holley.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good question.
Thanks for clarifications.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, everyone did receive those applications in the last month's email. So if you were looking for those to refresh, those were sent out, and All of the material for today was sent to all the members in the agenda packet with all the notes and meeting minutes as well, Christina. So
Yep.
if you check that out, you should be able to
Yeah,
have
those
that for
emails are
in this
not
way.
accessible. The only way I can access the information is off the website. So it has to come through our website for me to get it accessible. So yeah, their
Okay.
applications are not on here. So, but it does have their name. It did pop up for the three of them for candidates presented bios with when the meeting adjourned. So let's go ahead and look at Becky Guiley. First, we'll go ahead and I'll take, so because you guys already, so
roll call.
just do a roll call vote?
Yeah, I called the question. Yeah, I called the question. So it's
Correct.
Okay,
We don't need to make any motions. We just say the name and let people
Yeah.
vote yay or nay.
Nobody's
Gotcha.
motioning. Yeah, nobody's motioning.
okay, go ahead. I get Curtis and go through a roll call vote for Becky Guiley first.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. So you said the first you said the first candidate is going to be Becky?
Yes, Becky Guiley, Miss Becky Guiley.
Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, Tamara,
Yes.
Sherry. Oh, Sherry's not here.
She's not here yet.
Yep. Ruby,
Yes.
Marvin. Marvin, are you on mute? Take yourself off of mute, Marvin.
Is Marvin still here?
Yeah, he's still here. He's got himself on mute.
Can we go to?
Okay, I'll go to the next and then Marvin, work on getting unmuted. Christina,
Yes.
Ben. Ben,
Are we having IT issues?
I vote yes.
thank you. Mustafa,
I don't know. I cannot participate in the votings because I forget anything because it's happened last time. I vote and give you the names. I don't know even now who's in California, which the faces, which the other two. I can't do it. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Shauna,
Yay.
okay, thank you. Marvin, did
Aye.
you? Okay, thank you. Okay, well, Becky was unanimously passes. Her vote unanimously passed, excuse me. Okay,
Curtis, we did have one abstention, and that was Mohammed.
I'm sorry?
We did have one abstention, and that was Mohammed.
Yes. Oh, yes, thank you for reminding me, yes. Okay. Who is the next candidate up?
Curtis, I sent you the list on Teams. You can read it off from there, or if you have it in your notes.
Okay, I got a lot of different panels going on up here,
Ellen,
so,
the next person.
I'm sorry?
Ellen Waters is the next person to vote on.
Ellen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tamara,
Yes.
yes. Ruby,
Yes.
okay, Marvin.
My
Okay,
apologies, finding the mute button's been hard. Yeah.
okay. Christina,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
okay, Mustafa is going to be, Mustafa, just put it on record.
Yeah, abstain. I don't know. I told you, if you want, go to the record. That's last time, and I already vote. So I don't remember now. I don't remember who did I vote, but we vote before the last meetings.
Okay, and
This is-
Shauna,
Yay.
okay. So, Ellen's vote passed. And who is the next candidate?
Her name is Lakia G. Holly.
Lugia, okay. Lugia. All right, Tamara,
No.
Ruby,
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no as well.
Marvin,
Aye.
okay. Christina,
Yes.
Ben,
I have to abstain this time.
okay. Mustafa, just to have it on record,
I don't know.
you abstain, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And Shauna,
No.
Curtis Sherry is also on the call.
oh, okay. Have she been here for all of these votes?
Just for the one that you just started, my eyes are dilated, so I can't see nothing. But I was like, let me get on. So I've been on here probably for maybe 15 minutes.
Okay. So what would you like to vote as far as Lugaya is concerned? Sherry. You're on mute, Sherry.
I'm gonna sustain because I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay. I'm gonna abstain. Okay.
And Curtis, I think it's prudent to go ahead and ask Sherry for the other two members. Sorry, hopefully I'm not micromanaging here. Just want to make sure everyone's voices are heard.
Okay, Sherry. Would you like to vote yay or nay for Becky?
Becky, yeah, yes.
Okay. Uh Yay or nay for Ellen?
Ellen, yes.
And yay or nay for Lugaya. I'm sure I'm pronouncing her for that. Lugaya.
Nay.
Okay. Okay, so, we have 4 noes, 2 yeses, and 2 abstinents on Lugaya. So, unfortunately, that candidate does not pass.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to say thank you for everybody for voting. And next we will and I want to welcome Becky and Ellen and Lagaya. You're always welcome to participate, come and sit in on our meetings and be here. So thank you very much. And next on the agenda. Okay.
Welcome, Becky.
Welcome Becky and Ellen. Is Ellen on too? I don't know who's on.
I don't think so. I only saw Becky in the attendees.
Okay,
Oh, there she is.
okay, thank you very, very much. Yeah, because I don't see attendees. Next we will move to discussing open seat recruitment process and looking at we have, look at the thing right. We have one vacancy, which is now 2. Right now we have no vacancies according to the minutes. So we are a full board. Is that correct, Daniel?
No, that's not accurate. Curtis could read that out. We have a 12 member committee. Pardon me, 11-member committee. And then Victoria stepped down last month.
Yep.
And we
Which is
oh,
8.
We
Yeah.
had 3 openings and we had
And
like 5 candidates, but we just approved 2. So my math
Yeah.
says we have 1 more.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the chart that's on our minutes, so trying to see it the way. So
I think Curtis can tally that up for us, just so we're
correct on it.
we're-
And so that leaves 1 vacant, and then coming December, we will have another vacancy. So and having a discussion on and it doesn't list in the minutes who the other people were that weren't present last month that submitted an application. I know there were 3 other applications, correct? For people who are not present. Curtis, do you have that information?
Give me a second.
Thank you, sir.
And we can get that information. There are other candidates. Some of them haven't responded at all to any emails that have been sent out in the last month. So I think there's a couple of things there. And I don't want to overstep here, Christina, but I do want to just kind of call attention to a couple things. One, our earlier discussions kind of bled into some of the other agenda items. And I do know that we have the performance management evaluation team from the King County that are here to present at 3:10, and I really do want to honor their presence on that.
You got it.
That said, the kind of next discussion item on the agenda when we were planning this together was really to go over the workflow. I think starting at which candidates are left might be a little inverted. And I'm just recommending to the committee to maybe consider going into some light discussion about what you want to see there. And that helps me with the direction on how you want that information presented and just a couple of like key notes for you to consider here, which is applications come in at random times. Do you want those immediately? Do you want those in a week? Do you want them monthly? How much time do you want to wait between? How do you want that information presented? Are people required to come and present? Some of the kind of messiness on this last one, that was on the agenda for us to talk about for about 30 minutes and 20 minutes. And I don't think we'll be able to meet that before we break in 3 minutes. So I think maybe a little discussion about how to handle the agenda. Christina, I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, and that was something I attended an SPC type meeting in 2 other jurisdictions over the last month. And they do have a requirement for that specific type committee that you come for 2 meetings before you present an application, that you come and do that. And that when I was looking over our SPC charter, which is the piece I am working on, is our SPC charter. I'd like to actually put that in there and maybe have a group discussion next, put something together over this next month about our who we vote, like who we bring in and stuff. And one of the things I would definitely like is to see people have the ability to, or should come for at least 2 meetings to see what we're like and then present an application. And then also if, if there is somebody who notifies that there's an, absence, we could look at an application for someone who can't be there. And if there's other, I don't like the word requirements, but other things to look at for like who should be on here and people we are missing. If you guys could think about it, like for me, when I joined the SPC 10 years ago, we had a lot of educators on the group too. Janelle and was just there with a lot of educators. So we had a lot of, and they were UW educators. So I'll say that, they were, and I feel like they're absent in this. And it's an important piece of, who are we still thinking about? And I'd like to have a group discussion of who we're kind of feeling like we're still missing in our group. How can we look at that? And then how can we really establish, we have no rules that we have set up. We have not, it just says use Robert's rules for the committee through the CoC and our committees. But it doesn't say anything like that. So I'd like to really work on our SPC charter and have information that we determine what we want to see for our membership, so that when we have, discuss dashboards, we discuss the data, the point in time count, etc., that, we have a well-rounded team. So I definitely want to hear what you all think about who to bring in and who, I clearly felt that somebody from, that you all were feeling that someone from out of state might not necessarily be a good fit for our group, which is fine. Okay. It could, what are we looking for in the group? I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. And maybe y'all could let me know and we could have a quick discussion next month about what you would like. And for candidates, who are we missing? Who do we need, etc. So any thoughts or discussion on that quickly before we get ready and have a break?
Sorry, I made a commitment during break time, so I have to step away, but I'll be back in 10 minutes or so.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. Okay, I will go ahead and move us to a break till excuse me, my voice, till 3:10, and at 3:10 we will have the county come and discuss HMIS data collection. So it is now 3:01, so I'll see you guys at 3:10. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to welcome everybody back. It is now 3:10. Is the county team ready to go?
Yes,
Do
sure
we
am.
need to double check
Take it.
everybody's ready here?
All right, let's see here. Let me get my screen shared.
And welcome today.
Thank you so much. Let's see here. I'm not as a Zoom ambidextrous, but I'll get there. Presenter layout. Let me go into presentation mode. Thanks for your patience. All right. Does that look like it's in presentation mode, or does it look like you're seeing my view?
It looks fine, I believe. How about everybody else?
Perfect.
Looks good, Alan. I can see it pretty well.
Great. Thanks so much. Hey, folks. I'm Ellen Waters. I'm with DCHS's Performance Measurement and Evaluation team. They, them, she, her pronouns, either or is fine. And I'm here to discuss permanent housing exit reason data collection proposal that we are here to share with y'all today. The agenda for today's discussion is to introduce DCHS and PME. Why we want to collect exit reason, the data collection proposal broken out into the proposed data specifications, the development and pilot, rollout logistics, policies and guidelines development, and then we'll close out with a question and answer segment.
Hey, Ellen, sorry to interrupt.
No, please. Sorry, was that you, Emily? Because I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry to interrupt. The view that we're seeing is like showing a preview of the next slide, so the main slide's kind of small. I don't know if there's a way to change that.
Oh, okay. So it is showing the
Yeah.
weird. I hate that it's doing that. That's just terrible. Let's try to fix that.
Sorry to interrupt your flow.
No, no, I want it to be not
Yeah,
that
just
way.
want the main slide to be big.
We want the main slide to be big. Does that look better?
Yes.
Yes, that's perfect. Okay, carry on.
That's exactly what I wanted. Much better. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone. Again, I'm more of a Teams person, but we'll get through it. All right. That's our agenda for today. Let's get into it. So King County DCHS, that's the Department of Community and Human Services, we invest in and oversee a wide range of programming and services that reach over 470,000 King County residents each year. The Performance Measurement and Evaluation Unit, that's PME, provides data and evaluation support to DCHS's various divisions. The team here today, that's Emily and I, and you also know our colleague Victoria, who formerly sat on this committee. The team today supports the Housing and Community Development Division, which includes Housing and Supportive Services team that oversee the funding for 100+ permanent housing programs that house thousands of people on a given day. That's with both CoC and local funding. That also includes Help Through Housing Initiative, as well as Youth and Family Homelessness Prevention Initiative. So why collect exit reason? We already collect exit destination in our standard exit screen. With that, we learn where residents are going, but we don't really have systematic information on why folks are leaving. So this raises questions like, are residents leaving by choice due to safety concerns, disagreement with the rules, or other dissatisfaction with housing? Are residents leaving involuntarily due to non-payment of rent or breaking of rules? Do exit reason patterns differ by characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, disability status, or do they vary across programs? Collecting exit reason can tell us a lot about what supports residents, what supports providers and residents may need to make housing outcomes better and more equitable. Note that this data is intended to be used to learn more about the system and its programs, not at all as an individual characteristic. So here's the proposed data collection we're bringing to you today. We want to add 2 prompts to the existing exit screen. The first question would be, what is the primary reason for exit? This would add a single drop-down list. And in that list, that pick list would also be an other selection. And when you select that, there'd be an additional text box for some open-ended answer there. And then a second question would be any additional relevant details about the circumstances of this exit. That would be an open-ended optional text box where just qualitative open-ended information can be added. In addition to this, data validation rules will be built in here. So between exit destination and exit reason, we hope that this can improve data quality between both fields. So for example, if the exit destination is deceased, but the exit reason would be non-payment of rent, the provider would see a warning pop up in Clarity saying exit reason does not align with the exit destination. Please review your response for accuracy, update it. Here is the proposed pick list. Note that these materials are included in what has been distributed to you in advance of this meeting, so you should be able to review this on your own as well. But this table here, the reason for exit is what would be listed in the pick list. But we've also included here a plain language description as well as examples. So I'm not going to read all of these out loud, but just to kind of walk through an example. Reason for exit could be safety concern. The plain language description we have in our guidance is resident felt unsafe in the housing or program environment and made the decision to exit the program. The example is John is worried about one of his neighbors making threatening statements, so he chose to leave the program. Another example is does not meet criteria for the program. Plain language description here, resident no longer meets requirements for the program, i.e. income, disability, family composition. Some common examples here would be John obtaining employment and starting earning more than the 30% AMI income limit, or Jane giving birth to a child and no longer being eligible for an adults only building. We do have some other categorized exit destinations such as death and hospitalization, incarceration, and of course that open-ended other field in which folks can put just open-ended responses if they feel like the current selections don't meet what the reason is. So here's a bit more on exit reason data collection and development. We developed this data collection based on examples from other jurisdictions. They collect this information in New York, Ventura County, California. Both the King County and Seattle Housing Authorities have collected similar data to this as well. And Health Through Housing providers have reviewed and approved the proposal. For the past year, Health Through Housing has been piloting the collection of this data. Most common exit reasons from this past year have been left for housing opportunity, non-compliance with rules, and lost contact. These indicate opportunities to strengthen housing first practices and proactive engagement to improve outcomes. I want to flag to check out the Health Through Housing evaluation, which will be published at the end of this year for full results of the pilot for further analysis into this data. Health Through Housing stakeholders have really appreciated the use of this data for both immediate CQI and broader knowledge about the initiative's areas for improvement. I also want to note that DCHS contract monitors and permanent housing providers are really excited about wanting to expand and also collect this data for their programs as well. Excuse me, before I move on from this slide, I want to say one more thing about the Health Through Housing evaluation. It is my understanding that the SPC has been really interested in collecting information about well-being outcomes. While this measure isn't directly related to well-being, I do want to elevate that the Health Through Housing evaluation, our external partners are doing a lot of work to collect measures and qualitative insights around well-being. So we're doing really deep analysis on that front in the Health Through Housing evaluation. So in addition to deeper analysis into exit reason, I want to prime this group to say, please come back and check out our evaluation when it's ready for both deeper look at exit reason and well-being analysis. So here's our proposed data collection rollout. We're hoping that we can have the group vote on moving forward with this work today. By the end of August, we would like to firm up policies, guidelines, training materials. We've drafted this content and we'll work with KCRHA and BitFocus to adapt and finalize it based off input from you all. September, we'd like to roll out provider trainings and office hours, and October 1st, have a data collection go live. So policies and guidelines. We've drafted a policies and guidelines document for this data collection, and we will finalize it based off your feedback. So big thing to emphasize here is that we ask that members review this document and contribute any suggestions and concerns. Example guidelines that we want to highlight is that this data is for program and system level analysis. It should not be considered a client characteristic and should never be used to deny clients housing or services. This is really strongly emphasized in the guidelines that we've written. Another example guideline is to not enter sensitive or unnecessary information such as immigration status or details about exactly where a resident is going to into either of the open text fields. So that would be specific identifiers about what emergency shelter, hospital, new addresses folks are going to, etc. So that leads us to discussions. First question is, what questions do you all have?
My name is Sherry Tillman. This is for families too.
Yeah, this would be for all housing programs in HMIS.
Okay, thank you.
I had my hand up, so I'll go. First of all, I want to just say kudos and thank you. I love one of your slides. You said that these new metrics are being used to strengthen the practices of the program, and I just absolutely love that. So often the data is just used for outcomes, and outcomes don't tell an accurate story all the time. So I am really grateful that you're thinking that way. I had two questions, but you kind of just answered one. So all housing programs, does that mean like not including shelters? That's just housing programs.
Not shelters at this time.
Okay. And then my second one is in your list of voluntary exits. I mean, this is pretty nuanced, but I also think it's good data to have, is people who leave because they are trying to live a life of recovery, intended recovery, and there's too much drug activity in the building. There are a few buildings that are like sober intended, but the reality is there's a lot of drug use going on, and so somebody goes there thinking they're going to be in a safe environment and then they're not. So that might be like some good data to collect or integrate in there somehow. I don't know.
Yes. And that is an emergent finding is housing fit is something that we're seeing as folks moving on to, and that is something that we're capturing here is that sometimes folks are moving on to another place that's a better suited for them. And that can be related to whether it's sober living or more harm reduction model, something that's a better fit.
Yeah, because they're both super important, right? But
absolutely,
people who have put in the time and done the work and are trying to build a new life for themselves, it's really hard when you've got drug dealers on both sides of you in the hallway,
Totally.
So I've heard that time again. I've actually met people who've chosen to become homeless again rather than be in that environment. So I think it's an important nuance to take a look at.
And if I could just have help managing, because I got a lot of tabs open and I can't quite track who has hands raised first. So if I could just have help wrangling who had their hands raised first to help answer questions, just so I don't get things out of order.
I saw Tamara and then Ruby and then Sherry.
Thank you.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I first of all, I cannot wait to see the analysis of well-being. That is like my whole life. Um, and I'm wondering, uh, I also think like, I wonder if there's a way to integrate like a trade-offs analysis of how our system operates and our like impact, like as people are moving through the response system, are they also like how nuanced are we getting? Because I'm personally very interested in learning how case manager or housing advocates well-being, how their health and well-being impacts the community, and how that ripple effect needs to be traced back to the root, so that we can target that particular issue through with a well-being analysis, and recognizing the trade-offs that our system presents and imposes on people based on some of those things that you're mentioning, like having these strict eligibility requirements that like are more excluding people than they are like bringing people into the fold. But yes, I can't wait. I'm just so giggly and girling out and nerding over here.
Love that. I appreciate you elevating that. Thank you. Ruby, I hear you're next. Please.
Yeah, thank you. Ellen, this was a great presentation. I'm also very glad to hear that there's progress being made in the like making data more qualitative, and that's very exciting. And yeah, I just can't wait to see the outcomes of those. And also, like Tamara, looking forward to looking at the well-being and influence in there. So thank you so much. Excited.
Thank you so much. Sherry, please.
Yes, hi. And thank you too. I should have said that at first when I did my first question. Um, and I know there's a lot of exits you didn't go into, because I know I deal with families, but families often leave places too as well because of like fleeing domestic violence. Is that one of the things on there too as well?
We have safety concerns as an exit reason.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for elevating that. And then if we don't have any currently standing questions, I want to ask, does this data collection proposal raise any concerns? And if so, do you have suggestions to mitigate them?
I just want to go back really quick to, you mentioned safety concerns. And in the last several years, we've been able to add kind of sub drop-down menus for some answers. So maybe for safety concerns, that would be a place to say violence in the building, drug, alcohol, domestic violence, discrimination, just to get the little more kind of micro data without making it too complicated.
Emily, do you have any thoughts on that? I know we want to capture like the nuance of what's happened without too many identifying details. And we do ask for circumstances of the exit in the open-ended, and we are finding that we are capturing pretty rich information with the combination of the two questions about the exit reason and the open-ended circumstances of the exit. I'm not pausing. Well, I am pausing, but I'm just thinking internally about the sub drop down option.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting suggestion. It's one of those things where like once you start looking at each of these exit reasons, like we could probably come up with a sub drop down for every single one, because I mean, we tried to have an exhaustive list here, and it's based on, research that we did in other jurisdictions lists and things like that. But ultimately, inside each of these categories and for every person's situation, there's so much nuance. So I think it's something that if there's a special area we want to look at, maybe we could consider that in the future after we have this going and like see what the data is looking like. But I want to be mindful too of like, we already asked the providers to do so much data entry and want to try to limit how many new elements we're asking them to collect for every exit. And like Ellen said, we do have that open box for them to put any additional details. So that's something that like, if in the future we're seeing a lot of responses related to safety concerns, we can pull all of those open-ended responses, start sifting through them and see what areas we need to probe more. But I do think it's a good suggestion.
Yeah, agreed. And then
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like Janelle and then Ruby.
Yeah, thank you. Not that sure what's suggesting this, but if the committee may need to look at if there are open-ended responses related to DV, or if the committee wants to do more of a category related to DV, that they may need to review our de-identified policy. Also domestic violence, if they are leaving for domestic violence, it could get into some landlord-tenant laws as well. So just flagging that for the committee.
thank you, Janelle. Great flag.
Yeah,
Ruby?
thanks for that, Janelle. Yeah, we appreciate that, Janelle. I had a quick question. So, in gathering this data, we're going to be, well, not, the royal we, we're going to be like kind of bringing up this narrative change, or what is the intent behind? I know that this is great information to have. I just want to see what kind of direction it's going to be headed, or if we have an idea of that. And I'm sorry if you mentioned that already.
No, absolutely. It's a great question. Why would we, roll out all this extra data collection? To what end? The intention really is to collect broader understanding of why someone's leaving, in addition to where, and qualitative data around, what are the circumstances of the exit to the end of program improvement, process improvement. What we've been piloting in Health Through Housing, we found that this has been very useful for immediate CQI when we've been able to flag immediate needs for check-in with providers on the circumstances of an exit. And then we're also finding, now that we are analyzing this data collectively, we're finding patterns where, say, particular just general needs around, hey, we could bolster some policies around housing first here. Maybe we need to revisit guest policies there, et cetera. Things around what we can do to better serve residents, to keep them feeling supported, to help them stay longer, to better understand also where they're going. We're seeing themes that we didn't understand before, like sometimes folks are leaving for family reunification. Something we discussed earlier was sometimes folks are going to a site where they're wanting to seek sober living, et cetera. So it's about process improvement.
Yes, that's exactly what I was hoping you would say. That's exciting to hear that we're going to be really taking a good look at that. I'm really interested to hear more about like how we can help you do that, or if there's like, is there's going to be a report at the end of the year? Where can we find these results?
Yeah, absolutely.
And my question for you, this is Christina. King County is well known nationwide for our wonderful dashboards. We are really blessed with some really well done dashboards all across King County for just about everything. Will you be putting this in like a dashboard that'll be public facing, politician facing, so we can say, yeah, on this site, this many people left because of this reason and this, so then when I go and present and say we need money for X, here's some data to back up X.
That's a very good question. And maybe something that I don't quite have the answer to. My gut reaction at this juncture is no. I don't want to speak for the entire county. My intention would be for this data to go back to providers for CQI purposes, not for, hey, look, folks are.
No, I get you. I'm on the behavioral health board for the county.
Yeah.
And sometimes like some of that data could be like important to like when we're talking about housing and leaving because you need to get, especially sober living and that kind of stuff. It'd be, I don't know, easy if I'm not
Right.
a provider, so I wouldn't be able to access that way, but I would love to be able to access it and say, you know,
Right.
hey, we need more sober living housing. This is what this department collected, and they've got 17% of their population needs
Mhm.
sober housing. You know, where can we, as a behavioral health board, do better to improve it? You know,
Mhm.
also on the state's disability board, you know, hey, we have these many people that were put either long-term hospitalization, nursing home, et cetera. Their needs weren't met. To have
Mhm.
that data is kind of like
Right.
important to us advocates when we are going out. So think of, I don't know if we could come up with a way so it can be accessed and maybe a little bit more secure,
Absolutely.
right? Because I think it's important.
I hear you. I agree wholeheartedly. What I want, like, immediately is for a data back report, which I'm drafting a version of that for Health Through Housing that can be a model for how folks get this back at the program level within Clarity. But I don't want to step ahead of where we're already at because this isn't something we've scoped yet. But what I immediately want is programs to get this back. And I think that that's a really great thing to raise is that I think in aggregate to report broadly to our community, to the CoC, that we have a clear need based off this data saying we need more sober living, we need more harm reduction living. I think that that is appropriate. Whether or not that format takes place in like a dashboard style is something that is more of like a leadership strategy call that's beyond my scope. But I 100% agree that this data should be used to look at and say, at the system level, what are our needs? What should we do about it? Daniel, I believe your hand was up, and then Sherry.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to add to some of the information here. Let me just pull this up. Sorry, I was ready and then I wasn't. So we did just a quick analysis, and this is for the whole committee. And I don't think I got this back to the PME team, to y'all before today, but we looked at the last 365 days, ran a query, and this looks like we'd be collecting this exit reason, should we move forward and the committee agree. This would affect about 7,150, so just over 7,000 units in our PH projects. This will not include rapid rehousing. So it's just permanent supportive housing, what's sometimes called other permanent housing, where the disability requirement may or may not be there. And so in that time period, if we just look at the last 365 days, we had about 1,200 exits. So that's potentially in the next year, roughly 1,000 data points to analyze. That was it.
Thank you, Daniel.
Where,
Sherry, please.
oh, one quick question, just to what Daniel said. Who would then be responsible for analyzing that? KCRHA or King County?
I can jump in a little bit on this one. I'm sure Daniel has a comment too, but King County will definitely be regularly analyzing and looking at this data for all of the contracts that we hold, which is many of the county's permanent housing contracts. Like Ellen mentioned, we're definitely looking to find a way to get this data back to providers so that they have it in a usable format. We want to look at it internally for system and program planning and improvements. And I'm sure we'll be, partnering with KCRHA on that and looping them in. Daniel, I don't know if you or the R&D team has plans to look at it also, but that's from the King County side what we're thinking.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in a position to talk for KCRHA in terms of how we're gonna analyze it. What I can say, my answer pretty narrow here, is that there is no requirement for any federal, state, or local reporting right now to use this data element for anything that we're required to produce. So I know that's pretty narrow. Like everyone else, though, I think we're excited. There's an analyst in me that, yes, would love to look at this data and I, just in case this wasn't clear, I am very interested in the results of this data should it move forward and get collected globally. because I do think that there are definitely some benefits to being able to know the reason. I think that was it on that point. And I've been working with the PME team. I'll just make a little note here. We've been looking at the reasons that were put together. Thank you to the both of you and to your whole team for really answering a lot of questions that we had at KCRHA and some of the nuances of that. I wanted to make sure though, did everyone actually see the reasons? Did that get in front of you? I know we've been talking about it, but I wanted to make sure you saw it if that wasn't clear, or if that wasn't completely transparent there.
I want to add, I think Ellen mentioned it as well, but hopefully everyone received the one pager, and the appendix of that one pager did have the reasons as well if you want to open up your own copy and take a look at it. And I think once all the meeting materials are posted, it'll include this presentation so everyone can take a look back at the slides. We did also already create like the draft of like policies, guidelines, training materials, and we're hoping to get feedback on that at some point as well.
Does anybody have any feedback for the document in front of them? Any ideas or suggestions? I did. I ran it through. I really enjoyed how you gave the examples. So that was very helpful. Anyone else?
My hand is up.
Go ahead. Okay, I can't. It doesn't come, but go ahead.
So this, I mean, I just want to say that I really like everything, and I'm excited to see, the outcomes of this too as well. But I'm hoping, and it's in the weeds, and this is down the road, but I just wanted everybody to kind of think about, though, even though we're getting all these outcomes, like it would be good too to see, because I know that when folks are exit out, like some of them go back to homelessness, and to see like how, like if it is DV, like instead of them having to go back to homeless, or it is safety concerns or other concerns, if they're following the rules and doing everything they're supposed to be doing, just how like maybe they can transfer into other programs and don't have to start over. And I know this is like in the weeds, but I think it's still something to think about with the outcomes that come in of maybe later on doing something with that.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a really important piece to raise, is looking at returns and where folks are going after they exit, and what is happening subsequently after folks do exit. And we have developed a methodology for analyzing folks post their exit reason to monitor, what's going on with folks after the exit reason, just to see if there's any sort of disparate treatment.
Tamara?
Tamara.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I really love the fact that that we'd be looking out for potential bias and discrimination, like really calling that out. And I really love the presentation, and I want to like, are there any kind of pieces in there about like people and like both providers and program participants and the community and funders, everybody? Is there a way to measure relationships? Is there a way to measure like the health of an ecosystem based on the systemic relationships, or the dysfunctional or functional, hopefully, partnerships that make up the homeless response system? I want to also start measuring communication. How are we working together? Because a lot of the time I'm observing, from a distance and as objectively as possible, I'm seeing a lot of like conflict and misalignment. And is there a way to measure and visualize that on a dashboard or whatever that looks like, the difference in progress, or the progression of the relationship from program entry to program exit and beyond. And what is the lived experience perspective of the homeless response system as they move through it? And that's probably more the qualitative, piece, but I would love like mixed methods kind of analysis of people's perception and experience as they move through the system, and how it how the system can be improved through like a well-being analysis and the well-being, the domains of well-being. And so I'm sorry, I'm just going to nerd out about that all day, but that's kind of another comment I wanted to make. Thank you.
No, I appreciate the comment. It's a good question. It's a big question. And you're right that it's mixed methods. On the one hand, you're looking at program performance, system performance. You're looking at what types of responses are we getting? Are we getting a lot of data not collected, a lot of lost contact? That speaks to the relationships that we're having. I think there are things to be said in the types of exit reasons when we're seeing a lot of rules violations related exits, and a lot of qualitative feedback saying, I don't like the staff here, or, et cetera. I think that's very telling of the relationships, and also of the positive of, there's positive things to be learned about relationships here. So you're absolutely spot on that it's mixed methods, and that it'll take some dedicated work to look at things holistically. So yeah, we can hone in on questions and work on answering that.
So then, Daniel, at this time, do we move? First, does anybody else have a hand up? I can't see hands.
Yeah, I don't see any other hands or anything. I think as one of the HMIS administrators for WA 500 here, I looked over it with the team. There's in that guidance, there is an abundance of references to our current policies. So this slides right into that work. It still honors the client's rights. So none of that, all of that stays the same as with other data elements. I think Ellen and we all sort of, Emily, we all got together and kind of talked of that. There may be some polishing on those questions now, and maybe as we get started, I think there's still some questions, like as we scale this up, because Ellen, this was a smaller project, not small project, but it was a smaller set of projects. So we are scaling up. So I think we'll be monitoring to see how the questions are working and landing, and we'll have to go through a process of establishing training for this. And so we have the capacity to do that. We'll be working with the BitFocus team. It's in scope with the contract. So none of that is disjointed here. So I think the ask today, and Ellen, I don't want to step on your toes at all, but it is to move forward with this, with the caveat that there are going to probably be some edges that we round off as we get the final list and take your input that you may have after this.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you, everyone, for your time and your feedback.
So do we have a vote that we need to do, Daniel?
Yeah, that would be the next step. If you're prepared for that, if the committee is wanting to do that, you would do a vote to add exit reason, and then approve that vote, and then we'll move forward with that work.
Hi,
Okay.
this is Ruby,
Tamara.
and I'd like
Oh,
to
sorry.
go ahead, Tamara. I'll let you do it.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I motion that we approve the performance managed PME's proposal of the exit reason, that we include that into our HMIS standards.
I second that.
Okay, thank you.
Curtis, can you take us through a roll call vote, please?
Yes, I will. Okay. All right, let me see here. 2 seconds. Okay. Camera.
Approved.
You got it.
Sherry.
Yes.
Ruby.
Yes, thank you.
Marvin? Okay, is Marvin still with us or did he? Okay, we'll come back to Marvin. Christina?
I approve.
Okay, Ben? You're on mute, Ben. Mustafa, I see you come off of mute.
Yeah, approve.
Okay, thank you. Ben, you're on mute. Okay, Ben, while you work with your mute, Mustafa?
Approve. I said it.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Shauna?
Approved.
Okay, Ben, have you worked out your muting situation yet? Okay. I see Ben.
Curtis, you could suggest that Ben put it in the chat. Oh, if he can't
Okay.
speak.
All right. Ben, can you put it in the chat then? Um, okay. I don't know what happened to Ben. So we're just gonna put him as abstinence because he can't hear, I don't know. So with that said, the motion passes. Everybody hear me?
Yes, we do, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Huh?
Nope, I was gonna say, shall we go ahead and we only have 7 minutes left? Is there anything I know people are still working on their pieces from reviewing stuff. And so we could still use help with Victoria's section. If anybody has the time to help with the pieces, policies that Victoria was reviewing when we handed out policies, if you could let me know. Otherwise, anything else that we need to get out there, Daniel, in 7 minutes?
I see Shauna's hand is up. Shauna, I don't know if that's a relic from the earlier discussion.
No, yeah, I two things. One, one's an old business, one's a new business. New business, Christina, you mentioned earlier in the meeting today that the agenda and the packet that is sent out to committee members is not accessible. So is there something that we can do as a committee to make that accessible to you? Because there is stuff that we receive that is not published on the website.
That's correct.
So, yeah, so I just wanted to lift that up, that maybe we could talk with Daniel and Christina and team.
Catherine,
and
yeah.
Catherine, sorry.
No, it's fine.
And see if there's something we can do. And then old business, I don't know if it was last month or the month before, but we were talking about decolonizing data and desegregating data.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Sarah Levin at University of Washington. She formerly worked at United Way King County, and she's worked, I don't know, a number of places, and she is happy to do a training for us. So
oh, that'd be great.
yeah. So we just need to, Daniel, you or I or Christina need to get back to her because I don't think anyone has.
Yeah, Shauna, I saw that. Yeah, I mean, we plan for the agenda every Tuesday until we're finished with it for the month.
Yeah.
I think I'm committed to bring that up in the next Tuesday meeting and see if I can get that on the agenda with Christina and Tamara. But if Christina is able to, wanting to prove that now, I don't see why not. And then we can work towards and see if that works with her schedule.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it to the group because I said I'd look into it and I did. So we can do it offline. That's fine. I just wanted to report back.
No, definitely. Thank you very much. And we'll you'll have that in the notes too. Would it be something you're thinking, Shauna, to do in lieu of a regular meeting, or like in addition to, like instead of, or am I making sense?
Yeah, I think how I proposed it to her was a portion of a meeting.
Okay.
Isn't that, I mean, it feels a really long time ago now, even though it was just last month.
No, definitely. Are you thinking like what did she mention how long like a presentation would be like that?
Why don't we forward the email to you and then we can pursue it that way?
You got it. And then we'll include that. I know we've also had discussions in the past to have a really robust well-being discussion as well. And I definitely would like to bring that to the table again soon so that we can really bring that up and have that like as a regular training as well. Yeah. And invite our county county friends. There we go. County worker, people who work with us from the county, and really have robust discussions. As we know, King County and Seattle have taken back their contracts, and that will be as of January 1st. So we're going to be seeing a lot of changes through KCRHA and how it looks and how it functions. So, and that would be a third thing I want to make sure that we have on our agendas as change happens, that we report it back, because it's going to, especially come October, November, December, we're going to see a lot of changes being proposed in a lot of different directions. So anything else to discuss with the group, or does anybody else have anything?
Catherine?
Thanks so much. I just wanted to speak to Shauna's comment. And Christina, I am always here to help you in any way I can with accessibility. So please know that. I did text you earlier the same message. So utilize me. I'm here. Thank you.
Seems like a natural time to close this out.
Stern. Yep. All right. Well, what is the meeting on our agenda? It doesn't say. Well, we need to put next meeting. There we go. Next meeting is September 16th from 2 to 4 p.m. And if anybody would like to, as in like the CoC, our SBC meetings on Tuesday at 10 are open to y'all as well. Just let Daniel, Catherine, somebody know, and we will get you the link and stuff. We do it on Teams, which is easier for me. And you're all welcome to come and plan, and our email ideas about, people you would like to see join, people we can get an application to and have somebody talk to about joining, information we'd like to see, etc. We want to make this as open to you all as y'all were willing to, and be a very work around, we're working group, that we're a community working on this. So if nobody else has anything else, I will go ahead and close this out at 3:59. Y'all have a great rest of your month.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.